Assalamualaikum. This lecture is about taxonomy. Taxonomy is from Texas or taxon, uh, which is meant group of plants or animals or other organism. According to Stockholm Botanical Congress, this was held in 1960. It is a designator of any taxonomic entity or group. Taxonomy itself is a branch of science which deals with identification, nomenclature, and classification. We will discuss these three in detail. Shortly, identification is the recognition of some characters. Here, in case of plants, nomenclature, this one, this to assign a scientific name to plants, and classification to arrange the plants into groups and subgroups on the basis of similarities and differences. So, when taxonomy is confined, means it is about a particular group or comparative study of plant. For example, we are talking about Thellophyta, Bryophyta, or Pteridophyta, any of the groups of plants which is brought under consideration. Then this is termed as systematic botany. In modern cases of taxonomy, knowledge comes from different fields. For example, in modern taxonomy, morphology is involved, which is the structural variation in plants anatomy. It is internal morphology. Karyology is the study of structure of nucleus. Paleontology is the study of fossil, the dead remains of plants. Serology is chemical products which are present in different plants when they are classified on the basis of chemicals. Phytogeography is the distribution of plants, and palynology is the study of pollens, uh, their structure, their different characters, etc., etc. Okay, now comes to the three aspects of a taxonomy, which are nomenclature, identification, and of course classification. In nomenclature, it is defined as to assign a correct scientific name, which is according to binomial nomenclature. That is, assigning two names to each plants or animals. According to this method, each plant is given a scientific name. Remember, these names are in Latin. The Latin names are uh, assigned to plants or animals because Latin is not the national language of any country, so it is free of political influence. Similarly, scientific names are uniform throughout the world, and that is, they are considered and recognized in all part of the world, and therefore have universal application and acceptance. Uh, this is the case in Latin, which I already told you that it is not a national language of any country. Okay, next step in nomenclature is the writing of the names. It occurs in two ways. If you are typing the names in computer, then these names are italicized, or if you are writing with your notebook in with your handbook, then it is underlined. Generic name is underlined separately, and a specific name is underlined separately. For example, this is ficus, ficus. This is underlined in this way. Carica, carica. Fig. The first part is generic name, and the second part is specific name or specific epithet. So this ficus is underlined separately, and this carica is underlined separately. Uh, this is the method when you are writing the names with some pen or pencil, and if it is written in computer, they must be italicized. Next is according to International Code of Botanical Nomenclature. The first name is generic name, this one ficus, and it is generally a noun. It may be uh, some feature of the plant, or it is based on the name of a person who identified the plant, or third possibility or third reason for a generic name is continuation of those names which were preserved in the time of Carolus Linnaeus, which is considered as the father of taxonomy. Next property of generic name is that there could be only one generic name. For example, ficus is a generic name. It cannot be duplicated to other groups or other families. For example, ficus is a genus. It cannot be duplicated to any other plant. Similarly, the second part is specific epithet or specific name. This is an adjective. It is based upon the prominent feature of the plant, locality from where it is collected, habitat or habitat where it is found, it grows, and the name of a scientist. Let me give some example. Uh, the first case, prominent character of the plant. For example, I again give the example of Ficus elastica. This plant is elastic in nature, rubber plant, elastica. Therefore, it is named as Ficus elastica. It is underlined here, and it is also underlined. A locality, for example, in this case, Ficus bengalensis. It is from Bengal or Bangladesh. So therefore, it is named according to the locality. Bengalensis. Lensis. It is also underlined here. This specific name is underlined here, and generic name underlined here. Habitat or habitat where it grows. For example, a plant which is growing in specific locality. For example, there is a plant Tribulus terrestris. It is terrestrial in nature. So in this way, Tribulus terrestris is terrestrial in nature. Terrestris. Another example of according to some eminent scientists, there is an algae which is called as Calarpa. Calarpa. One species of Calarpa was identified by HOD or Chairman of Department of Botany, Peshawar University, Muhammad Ali Farhad Faridi. So it was named as Calarpa faridii. This is one example. There are many examples which are based on the name of a scientist, faridii. Faridii. Other character of writing a scientific name is that when you mention or you assign a locality or a name of a scientist, generally this part, the specific epithet, is written with small letter, but in case of locality or a person, you may write this with capital letter. But in general cases, the first part is written capital and the second part begins with small letter. Next character is the specific epithet may be duplicated. Generic name cannot be duplicated, but specific epithet can be duplicated, but to different plant. For example, Nigella sativa, Kalonji, and Avena sativa, Hot. Sativa comes again with two different genera. Next character, next property of scientific name is that scientific name is only and only one. If by misconception or some error, one plant is given two scientific name, then, for example, this is Camellia sinensis and this is Thea sinensis. Both these names are given to tea plant. Now, the first one, this one, Camellia sinensis, become valid name, and this Thea sinensis become uh, synonym. How these occur? When these names are published in some journal, then the older name, for example, this one name was published first and this was published next, then this name become valid name and this one become a synonym. Sometimes it happens, for example, both our names are published in the same journal. Then their number is taken. For example, the Camellia sinensis is on number 5 and Thea sinensis comes on the number 20. So this is earlier 5 one and this is later. This become valid name and this one become a synonym. The synonym is the other name, this one, it is discarded then and considered as synonym. So when a plant is given two scientific name, one is rejected and the other is accepted. This rejection of name in favor of valid name is called as rules of priority. Valid name, what is valid name? It is a name which is validly published in some scientific journal, then it is considered as valid name. And when a new plant is discovered, how it is published? It is prescribed in Latin, its characters, and published in some journal with the name given to the species. And next is description of the plant, which includes collection from where it is collected, locality where it was found, and place or herbarium where it is preserved. And this sample which is present inside herbarium is known as type specimen. This will be discussed later. Next is principle of priority. It means that each taxon has only one valid name according to this code of International Code of Botanical Nomenclature. Uh, the valid name is validly published in some scientific journal. So what is meant by publication? The publication means when a plant or animal is described properly and it is published in some well-known journal or accepted journal of the world, and then it is considered as publication. The sale or exchange of printed material uh, is considered as publication. Uh, it should be noted that the position of manuscripts in libraries are in the form of microfilm. It does not constitute to publication. It is required that the organism may be published in some journal which are accepted in the field of science. For example, a validly published name is that which has been effectively published and it has some description with it. For example, this is an example: Panicum sanguineals. This L means Linnaeus. He assigned this name to this plant. SP means specie plantarum. PL means plantarum. 57 is the page number and 1753 is the year when it was published. So this is the method of publication, and after that the plant or animal is considered as valid.